Hi ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rafael Lara. Before I actually start, I just want to throw out a quick disclaimer that I am not representing CareFlight in any way, shape, or form. This is just strictly for speech. I am giving a presentation on the thought process of being a leader. So, a little bit about myself. I have been in the emergency medicine for about 4 years, been about 3 years in the ER, and have been a medic for the military for almost 2 years now. And my major is actually in biology, hoping to pursue a career as either a physician assistant or a medical doctor one day. So going back to my topic, I'm going to be discussing the anatomy and physiology of the brain and the thought process or the psychological process of being a leader. So going on to the brain is this massive, awesome thing that just provides the infrastructure of our body, which allows us to process raw information into perception. It allows us to do motor skills, which is movement of anything, your extremities, which are your arms and your legs, and it also provides homeostasis for our body, which means balance. That being said, it regulates our body temperature, our breathing, everything. It's fantastic. Blood pressure, you name it, you think about it, and that's what our brain does. Going back to that, I want to discuss two structures in our brain. First one is going to be the amygdala, and the second one is going to be the pituitary gland. So the amygdala actually translates to almond-shaped in Greek, which is pretty cool. And yet and behold, these things are actually the shape of an almond. Now these amygdala, what do they do, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. The amygdala actually allows us to perceive emotion, any type of emotion, whether it's stress, angry, happy, excited, you name it. The amygdala is the one that processes that and perceives it. Now, another structure that I just mentioned earlier is the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is this little small pea-shaped gland in our brain that excretes certain neurotransmitters, or as we know, chemicals. And it releases many chemicals. Now, going that route, we're going to be discussing neurotransmitters, or the neurochemicals. Some of you might know them, some of you might be new. So these neurotransmitters, what are they? These neurotransmitters are chemicals that allow us to feel certain emotions. Now going back to that goes back to the amygdala. Now certain transmitters that you guys might know are dopamine, epinephrine, which is the fight or flight for most common one, acetylcholine, prolactin, serotonin, vasopressin, and my personal favorite is oxytocin. Now what is oxytocin? Well, let me tell you. Oxytocin, how can I put this? Oh, here we go. Have you ever given your loved one a hug, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't care who it is, but you hugged them, right? Now, if you hug them for more than 30 seconds, oxytocin starts releasing in your body, which is this funny feeling that you get, you know, the happy and all. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Perfect. All right. That is actually oxytocin, and that is actually excreted from your pituitary glands, and it's perceived by your amygdala. Whoa. Mind blown, right? Awesome. I thought so. Now, going back to everything else, we're going to be talking about benefits of being a leader. Now, this all plays hand in hand. If you just give me a couple minutes, bear with me, and it'll all make sense. Now, benefits of being a leader. Now, what is required to be a leader? To be a leader, obviously, the most important thing that I think is courage. Now, going back to everything else, how do you feel when you get courage? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel stressed? Maybe excited? Who knows? It might be something new. Courage is a big thing that I believe is going to be very impactful on being a leader. You know, also being a leader, benefit might be trying new things, new interests. It might lead you to new career paths. It might lead you to new hobbies. It might lead you to new interests that you never thought you had a love for, which is pretty cool. It allows you to grow as well as a person. It allows you to mature a little bit more, new thinking process, and honestly, I think it allows you to be more humble, more open to different things, new cultures, new certain beliefs. You know, you don't have to necessarily practice those beliefs or those new cultures, whatever it is, but it gives you a broad mindset of how things are. Now, a little bit about my personal experiences with being a leader. In high school, I was always a guitar player. Loved it. Still have a love for it. Still have a passion for it. I would always bring my guitar to school every day. And I would play and I would play and I would attract other guitarists. And day after day I would always bring it until another person brought their guitar. And we would jam out together back and forth, and you know, other people would, you know, gather around. It's a big crowd. And all of a sudden the next day, 2 more people bring their guitar. So I had the idea of starting a guitar club at school. And I was the president of the guitar club. At first it was very chaotic, but that's what is expected when you're a leader. You know, eventually there was structure in there a little bit. And, you know, you had your classical players over here, your guitar, rock and roll over here. It was just amazing. You had your acoustics over here. Fantastic. So that's what I say by being a leader. Now, when I discuss this, I also want you to YouTube a video, and it is called Man Dancing in Park. Now, what you're going to see with this video, assuming that you've already seen it, you've taken the time to actually, you know, pause this and actually go YouTube whatever I just mentioned, which is, I said Man Dancing in Park. You're going to see this man just dancing around, having a good time. Now, how do you think he feels? Maybe a little bit excited, maybe a little epinephrine running throughout his whole body. You know, pretty good. And, you know, he's trying new things. He's breaking out of his routine. And I'll discuss that here in a little bit. But he's breaking out of his routine. And then what happens? Another man comes, right? As a follower. And the other guy accepts him as an equal, per se, just as the video said. As an equal. And then after that follower comes, he invites more people. And then more people start coming, and more people start coming. And it's just this amazing chain that all started with one person. Now, what I mean by routine is that we all say we're leaders, right? But in reality, are we really leaders? Now, what I say by that is, let's say you're on a constant routine where you always wake up in the morning, you always get your coffee, you go to work, you come back, you always watch the same show that you're watching. Why not be a leader and do something even small? A small change can even be a big leap for that. What I mean by that is, you know, going to your favorite restaurant and instead of ordering the same thing, why don't you try something new? Expand your horizons a little bit. You know, it can be as simple as that. It's a little nerve-wracking at first, but, you know, after a while you start taking steps and steps and steps and steps, and it eventually just leads to bigger and better things. So concluding my speech, I do apologize because I am on a time crunch, is everything starts with an idea. And I believe everyone has an idea, right? Just act on it. That's all it takes. It's just that little small courage to make bigger and better things. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.